Welcome to the hottest show in all of sports television. It's the only television segment that Sean Evans distills and then bottles as the second to last hot sauce on Hot Ones. Because it's that hot, it's upset alert. Schlereth?
Yes.
The segment is very simple.
Okay.
I pretend that I'm a groundhog, and we choose upsets.
Okay.
You can start us off. Go ahead.
You want me to start you off with the upset? So you can imagine my dismay last night.
Oh.
Because I've been doing the morning show.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was nestled into my bed.
Nestled.
And all of a sudden, I heard my phone.
Yeah.
So I checked it, and of course, production. The production team here at First Things First. And they said, we need a headline from you. So I got out of bed.
All right.
I flipped on my light. I started to, much like the committee does, burn the midnight oil, right? And I was sitting there thinking, headline, what's the potential upset? And then, bam, it dawned on me. I think it was an epiphany. I think it was almost like from heaven above. Like this epiphany hit me, and I said to myself, Fee, fi, fo, done.
Wow.
Yes, I said
love
that.
About?
I said that's about,
Excellent
it's about
headline.
the Giants are so good and they're playing such great football right now.
Like how a
that
Giant
they could
says
actually
fee, fi,
beat.
fo, fum.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Right, they could actually
Who
beat.
is done? The Giants are going to win?
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles could be done.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
fee,
Yeah.
fi, fo,
Wow.
done. It's a play on Giants. It's a play.
Okay, so headline
Yeah.
notwithstanding, you've been flirting with this pick all week, Stink.
Yeah.
I love it, Steve. I understand you. I love it.
How do the Giants
Sounds
win?
familiar,
What do they have to do?
Well, listen, the Giants, number one, what they have to do is they have to be able to continue. They have to be able to continue to run Daniel Jones, to make him a dual threat. The thing about them right now is Barkley attracts so much attention that we think about Barkley, how many carries did he get, how many times did he catch the ball out of the backfield. But it's even the decoy nature of Barkley. He attracts so much attention. So when you run on the quarterback run, if you fake it to Barkley, guess what ends up happening? The whole backside of a defense does not constrict. They're so concerned, or if you swing past him out, it keeps the defensive end, the outside linebacker, the safety on that side, they all hang just in case Barkley gets it. So now the quarterback cutback lanes, the quarterback runs are wide open. Not only that, when you insert Barkley into the passing game underneath, he draws so much attention that it opens up the intermediate routes, the basics, the digs, all the things that Daniel Jones outside the pocket does an exceptional job.
So you think Jones runs as much this week as he did last week?
He has to. Their offense can't operate if Jones doesn't get 10 carries. He's got to have that.
I'm going to add one other part of this. This Giants season started off with an incredibly gutsy call by Brian Daboll in his first game ever as a head coach. The 2-point conversion to Saquon Barkley. We have seen throughout NFL history sometimes big underdogs in the playoffs, particularly with unproven coaches, coach in what I would call a cowardly fashion. Meaning, I'm not going to give myself the best chance to win. I'm going to make sure we don't get blown out. I don't think that's Daboll's DNA. I think you're going to see like flea flicker, fourth down attempts, potentially surprise onside kick. I think you're going to see, no pun intended, one of the David Goliath games where the team that is the massive underdog opens up the chance that we're going to get rolled here, but I'm going to add some variance to the game. That would make me a little nervous, I would feel.
Wow.
End of game laterals, perhaps?
Okay.
Don't do it. Brew?
Stink, I love the headline.
Thank you.
The only problem is yours won't be right. Like mine was right last year, or last week.
You had that headline?
Fee-fi-fo done.
He does this sometimes.
Yes. But look, I got news for y'all. There aren't going to be any upsets this week. All right, there are not going to be any upsets. So I'm going to go back to the literal definition of the term upset alert.
Oh, it's an alert.
It's an alert, all right? There will be a scare. One of the teams, the favorites, gets a scare, though they win. And Nick, I showed you earlier.
Oh, I like
all
this.
the stats that made you shiver. I saw
make
you over
me
there.
shiver.
I
You
saw
were
the
cold.
sweat dripping from your forehead when I was
shivering.
talking about the sacks and all that stuff with Jacksonville. They've been getting after the quarterback
Sweating
lately.
and shivering.
All right.
I have a- I don't
And
know.
Patrick
I have a
Mahomes,
flu.
you always like to talk about, Josh Allen throwing it all over the yard.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions in his last 4 playoff games than Josh Allen has in his career postseason. So here's the headline. Prince You'll like that.
I can read it on the screen, buddy.
Almost sounds the alarm.
Sounds the
trumpets. The Prince almost sounds the trumpets. And in parentheses, and the snare drum. Okay, almost. I think this is going to be a better game than we think.
I'm glad you're coming around
I've been watching Kansas City, and I love Mahomes, but
clearly.
Denver, led by Russell Wilson, the starting of the reserve, gave them some problems.
You say Denver's good.
Houston Denver's not good.
Houston's frisky.
Next year, possible. Houston gave them some problems. Well, Jacksonville destroyed Houston. They gave Kansas City some issues.
That's true.
So I'm just saying it's a little closer than we think. There's a little more adrenaline flowing and trepidation. You might have to go out and walk your dog and, do what else can get you relaxed during the game. When I'm with you get out of the house, you get some fresh air. You might have to do that, Nick. And it's going to be a one-score game.
All right, for the
Kansas City wins in a one-score game.
Never invite Chris Broussard to your home. I invited him to my home right after he joined the show. I had a stressful moment. I leave the house. I smoke a Black and Mild.
He left me alone in his house for 35 minutes. Sitting there on the couch, looking at the TV by myself. He's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
And then comes back in like nothing happened.
Yeah, I had to take dog on a walk, and I was stressed out.
Gonna have good
Can I just make one point here? Chris Broussard somehow referenced a Chiefs game earlier in the year against an AFC South team that wasn't the Chiefs game earlier this year against the Jaguars when they rolled them. So this is not going to be a close game. That is a terrible upset alert.
I liked it. It's now time for the anchor leg of upset alert. Schlereth, it's your first time on upset alert, but do you know why they call me the Puxatawny Phil of football? Is it because I'm covered with fur and live in a log? No.
Okay.
Because I can predict the future. I am predicting Cowboys over 49ers. And I know everyone's like, oh my goodness, Wildes. What'd you have, too much Timothy grass this morning? No. I looked at the stone cold facts of the Cowboys offense versus the 49ers offense. I showed it to you earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick's out here saying the 49ers are one of the best teams in the history of football.
I said they would be.
I nearly gagged on some alfalfa. But when you look at the real facts of it, Cowboys lead in all these categories. And you say, oh, well, Wildes, what about the defense? The San Francisco 49ers have great defense. They do? Oh, well, was I just eating magical buttercups when Jarrett Stidham lit them up? First 14 games, they were great. Last few games, not so good. So I'm just saying, while everyone is picking the 49ers, the Puxatawny Phil of football is sticking with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right now, this moment, would the Cowboys be your pick to go to the Super Bowl? I feel I'm not trying to put you on the spot like that, and you don't have to be tied to it, but I feel like
strong maybe. A strong maybe. They're just here.
And he would tie
Dak's interceptions have clouded everyone's brain. That he was throwing it to the wrong team. The Jags' loss was really bad, and everyone just decided to write off the Cowboys.
I'll give you this, Rob. They definitely have a better chance than the Cardinals. You're a real pick.
Well, who did you pick? That's a lot. You know what?
The Packers have a better chance than the Cardinals.
Don't let him do that to you.
No, I didn't say Jameis Winston.
You said Jameis Winston was going to win.
That was years ago. Dark horse.
Time for Nick's pick. Time to win some money.
I mean, you know what? I'll just hand these out.
Wow.
You guys, everybody
we're getting early.
Doesn't matter. Here we go. We just threw money around the table. You know why? Because it grows on trees. You follow Nick's picks. What is that on the year? Is that 30, 21, and 2? That's 59% against the spread. We upped that in the playoffs with a 4-2 weekend. Yeah, the Bucs pick wasn't great. The Vikings pick broke my heart. The other ones, never a doubt. Most notably, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Truly, never a doubt. This week, we'll pick all 4 games once again. We will pick them in order. Kansas City. Lay the 8.5 against the Prince that was promised. Mahomes blows teams out in his opening playoff game. He's won those opening playoff games by 18, 21, and 21 if you take out the game he was injured midway through. The Chiefs, under Andy Reid, is 27-4 off a bye. Mahomes off a bye, even better, 9-1 in his career. They score 35-plus points. Mahomes is spectacular. The Chiefs minus 8.5. They're covering by halftime. Next, to me, the toughest game on the board. You have 2 teams that I haven't believed in all year. So in that situation, it's a divisional game. I'm getting more than a touchdown. The quarterback's banged up for the Eagles. the Giants plus 7.5. Backdoor cover opportunities. If Jalen is not 100%, or if Lane Johnson has to leave the game and they go conservative, it's just too many. What did we see in the divisional rematches in the first round? Miami kept it closer than people thought. Baltimore kept it closer than people thought. The Giants plus 7.5 against the Eagles. Now to Sunday. Cincinnati plus 5.5. How about Cincinnati outright winner?
Wow.
Burrow as an underdog. Third of 3 or more points. 13-2 against the spread. Burrow, his last 7 games as an underdog of any amount. 7-0 against the spread. 5-2 straight up. This team went into Arrowhead and won. They, of course, can go into Orchard Park. What type of name was that for a stadium anyway? And win there. And then finally, San Francisco, minus 3.5. This game should be San Francisco minus 6.5, but the public loves the Cowboys, and the Cowboys looked sensational on Monday night. I bet it at San Francisco minus 6.5. I'm going to jump all over it at San Francisco minus 3.5. They're the best team in the NFC. There's a bad luck draw for the Cowboys. They could have given the Eagles a real fight. So there it is. Chiefs minus 8.5. Giants plus 7.5. Bengals plus 5.5. And the Niners minus 3.5. Let's go 4-0 this weekend, guys.
Excellent job. 3 out of 4 there.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.